So I come from a contracting background, trying to get into the permanent side of employment, which I've been finding quite adverse to over the past year. What I'm trying to do with the Procurious and the Big Ideas Summit, it kind of understands people's perceptions and why I find this bridge of not being able to come over to the permanent side to kind of give myself career stability and so forth.
So do you think it's an industry-wide issue, the reliance on contract versus permanent, or?
I don't know. I think it's kind of perceptions of how people actually believe themselves. I haven't found it an organisational kind of point of view. I find it individual. So it's whether the hiring manager or the recruiter at the time, if they feel that we're a job hopper, we're not going to stay, we're all about money, you know, we're there to do a job and then just leave. That's the kind of perceptions I've come face to face with. So coming to the Big Ideas Summit is kind of to understand how we can change these perceptions. Maybe it's education. People need to understand contractors are down to the person's situation, not necessarily all to do about money.
Good. So is there any examples that, I know you personally have experienced that, is there any examples of any businesses or organisations where you've seen them sort of realign their focus?
Absolutely. I mean, in the public sector at the moment, there's a lot of transformation going around, and they're moving the same because of their legislation and I think the 2P regulations about employees. They tend to take on a few contractors, but we're brought on a 3-month project, for example. And if you can appreciate, when you try to then go for a permanent job after your 3 months, you're seen as, what have you got to bring? You've been in a job for 3 months, or you've been only in that area for 3 months. So I think from the public sector perspective, they have to use the 2Ps, where they retain their staff and just move them around, whereas private sector is like a fairground. You know, you can get on whatever ride you want to get on, but again, it's kind of retaining that. So I'm not too sure whether it's organisational or whether it's just perceptions of general people.
Mm. And so the value really will be for the organisation if they can retain those people and that knowledge. Then
absolutely, I think it's for the HR individuals, for us to kind of have a kind of meeting with them, to kind of meeting of minds, if you like, so for them to understand why we were contracting in the first place, rather than what I tend to have to do is fight my corner. It's, you know, I did contracting because of this, because of that. Why do you want to get into the permanent world? Well, you know, I want to make serious plans. I want to maintain that stakeholder relationship rather than just leave after 3 months and keep in contact with you on LinkedIn, on social media. So social media is great to kind of have in place because you can kind of maintain that, but you still need, or even SIPs, for example. We've got a chap here from SIPs. I had a chat with him just at tea time. The SIPs qualification is not vocational, so you need to be in a job so you can understand, you know, and kind of give all your value to your coursework. Whereas if you're doing a vocational qualification, where science or something, you can kind of just go on the internet, pull your information and get your coursework together. So it's really important if you're a procurement person where you want to develop your career, you need the permanent job and the SIPs, but you can't do the two together because you can't do one without the other. So for us contractors, me specifically, we're stuck. And social media only kind of promotes you. You're kind of then promoted as a business or promoted as the contractor. So for me, it's kind of understanding how I get from one side to the other using the means that we have social today and conversation and engagement, and understanding organisations. A good point you made before, for me to kind of take that on board and ask that question.